When we first set out to form this ideal system, sports muscle technology, we talked a lot about what that means. And we came to the conclusion that it's enhancing human performance. And, how do we do that? So, how do you create the ideal system? How do you combine physical therapy and strength and conditioning?
Yeah, that's interesting because that's really the challenge that we've had, over the years. Ultimately, when you look at everything that's going on today, people are trying to take from physical therapy science and apply it to strength and conditioning. And then they're trying to take strength and conditioning science and apply it to physical therapy, right? Where you really have to have this kind of seamless blend of this spectrum where you're really looking at human function on this spectrum from less functional and in the rehab phase to higher level function and elite performance, right? And muscle technology that was developed originally by Mike Maddox, right, was this system of equipment. And also we added in all of these assessments and evaluation-based protocol to allow this seamless flow from dysfunctional to elite.
Right. It's interesting when you say that. You talk about optimizing human performance. Well, in order to optimize something, you have to measure it, right? And that's where our assessment-based protocol comes in. And if you don't have these baseline readings of an individual, it's like, well, how do you program for them? I'm not going to train a grandma like I train a seventh grader. I might not even train two Olympians the same way because everyone is different. And really, that's kind of what our system is set up to do, is to tailor the system to the individual.
So that's the one other thing that I love about sports muscle technology and the equipment is that you have this concept of needing to do testing to profile people and understand where you need to intervene and how you need to progress them and whatnot. But you also have this internal testing that's going on with the client or with the athlete as they're doing something to give them feedback so they can self-correct while they're doing the actual exercise or working on the piece of equipment, which ultimately allows for the best transition for skill acquisition, right? Because what we're really looking at doing is trying to convert strength, right, that you have into power and into athleticism, right? And then also have the best transfer from your training into an actual performance enhancement, right? Or even from your rehab, right? So the system of physical therapy is really designed for this progressive improvement in functional performance, right? So then when we add the sports muscle technology in, one of the coolest parts about it is that it allows us to use it for rehab and for performance enhancement. Right? Because it has this internal feedback cueing that goes on with people, it puts them into this like flow state type of thing, which we know that from the research and the science on flow states, it helps transition with the skill acquisition component, right? So they actually develop these functional movement skills faster, and it allows them to enhance their performance faster. Again, whether you're looking at the rehab side or the performance side. Now, what I've seen over my career, which is the interesting thing, and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, is that most of the time when you go to a physical therapy session, particularly, or even a training session, you're getting like 45 minutes to an hour, especially at like a commercial type of gym setting or a PT place. And what we see happening now is people are using all of these gimmicks, right? Like cupping, for example. Right? And they're almost wasting people's time because they don't know how to get directly to the point, right? And so one of the things that's really a missed concept that nobody is talking about now, which, sports muscle technology really focuses on, is the understanding of how your myofascial system works, right? So there's a lot of strategies right now that are out there to try to, ultimately coming back to cupping, to try to make your myofascial system feel better, but not necessarily perform better.
Well, that's what's one of the great things about the wobbler is that you have this proactive proprioception feedback that you get that we can use not only for assessments, but actually performance. You talked about getting in that flow state, and that's where skill acquisition is actually acquired. Well, that's what's so unique about the wobbler. You can use it for assessments and performance, which is true for a lot of the equipment in sports muscle technology.
Yeah, and that was the cool part about it. It's really designed to do that, right? And I talk to Mike Maddox about that all the time. The equipment is specifically designed to do what it does, right? Versus trying to take a kettlebell or a dumbbell, right, and apply it and create something that it wasn't designed to do, right? So especially when you're looking at speed and control of your movement and also this internal feedback and self-correction, the tools that we're using in typical traditional mainstream training and PT really aren't designed to do that, right? It requires a lot of external cueing from the mirror or from your trainer or the physical therapist telling you, hold this position, or where are you feeling it? And you're not really getting into this self-correcting phase that the equipment was designed to do functionally. Right? And that's what's cool about it, is the equipment really works on improving your functional performance through your body mechanics, right? It teaches you actually how to self-correct your body mechanics. And ultimately, like we're talking about, it ends up converting your strength into power, into athleticism, and also allows you for a really smooth transition of your training into performance. And the reason why that's so important is because people get really inefficient in their training and they're working really, really hard, at their training. Most athletes really think, well, if I just work really, really hard, then it's going to allow me to get the benefits out of this training. And you will get some benefits, right? It's just going to end up being inefficient. And then what we see are all these weird tricks and gimmicks to try to deal with those inefficiencies because people aren't getting straight to the point. And again, like we're saying, these machines that Mike Maddox created, the ones that we use in sports muscle technology, these evaluations that we use, they're all designed to get directly to the point that we're trying to create, is this improvement in performance. So you guys know what to do. Smash the like button, leave a comment, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more information.